This is Comic Picks by the Glick.
And I'm your host, Jason Glick.
How are you doing, Jason Glick?
I'm doing just fine, John. And yourself?
Not bad. What's going on?
Well, it's as I mentioned at the closing of last week's podcast. That was the day that the Disney buying Lucasfilm news dropped, and also at that same time I got 3 new Star Wars trade paperbacks from Dark Horse in the mail. So I just consider it a sign, not from God or anything, but certainly from the Force, if anything else.
There you go. So, what else is going on out there? Do you think that this whole thing will ruin the entire franchise or absolutely enhance it?
I don't know. It's like, well, I mean, Disney. It's like Disney understands that it seems to have a pretty good handle on the quality control of their various fiefdoms. I mean, you can only look at Pixar for proof of that, as well as the their Marvel releases as well. I mean, it's like with what they've done, like, yeah, they inherited some of this stuff from Paramount, but with the Avengers, it's like you have to argue. You have to look at they did really good job with that. So I'm not. So really, it's like I'm not concerned about the fate of Star Wars under Disney. I mean, to be honest, yeah, it's like Lucas has kind of shown that he's he's kind of lost the feel for the series after with the prequel trilogy. So if Disney wants to go ahead and hand it off to other people, including Michael Arndt, who has already been named as the writer for the next film, I believe, and he's also been tasked with plotting out and doing a treatment for basically the next trilogy. I think that's generally good news right there. And plus, as far as the list of directors I've heard, I mean, even though Spielberg has regrettably said that no, I'm not going to do that. Science fiction is George's bag. So that was disappointing. But all other names I've heard tossed around, like names like Brad Bird, J.J. Abrams, Guillermo del Toro. I mean, I hear that, and I think it's like they're on the right track right there. Because I mean, I honestly think you can scratch out J.J. Abrams because he's got Star Wars. I mean, Star Trek to deal with.
Yeah, Paramount's got him.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like a Star Wars film directed by Brad Bird. Come on, man. I mean, I would pre-order my tickets just based on that alone. Because I mean, aside from his legendary stint in animation, I mean, the man proved he can direct a killer live action feature with the latest Mission Impossible. So I mean, it's like if they want to give it to him, then I'm all for it.
Hey, as long as the story isn't about this young Jedi who finds this large robot. Anyway.
Oh, I think I'd still go see it regardless.
No, I love The Iron Giant. I thought it was a great film.
Yeah. Yeah, but it may just be a couple months, if not into early next year, before we find out who's going to be directing it, and then we can just keep speculating on it, keep anticipating until 2015 comes out and we get the next film, which I believe is also going to be when we get the next Avengers movie as well. So.
Wow, that's going to be a heck of a movie season, I guess. Then.
Oh yeah, so that's going to be something else. But that's still 3 years off, and we've got tonight's stuff to talk about because.
Yep.
Yeah, we got 3 different Star Wars trade paperbacks to talk about. Volume 10 of Knights of the Old Republic, Volume 5 of Star Wars Dark Times, and the first volume of Agent of the Empire. Now, starting off with Knights of the Old Republic, which got its own podcast about 2 years back when I picked up all 9 volumes by John Jackson Miller about Zane Carrick, a Jedi Padawan who wasn't really very good at being a Jedi, but found himself at the center of a conspiracy to when his Jedi masters had a vision for that one of their students would basically grow up to be the like a destroyer, like a great Sith Lord who would destroy the Republic. So they killed their Padawans, everyone except for Zane, who came to the ceremony late, and wound up seeing the end result of their actions and managed to escape, and eventually wound up just going on through a lot of crazy adventures throughout the Republic as he tried to clear his name. Even though it's John Jackson Miller isn't probably the best probably the greatest plotter or like or dialoguist in like out there. He's still good at crafting likable characters, and Zane was a great lovable loser. The kind of guy who he's not going to be the great badass who saves the day. He's just got terrible luck that he sometimes manages to turn to his advantage. And he's also got a great partner in Marn Hieroglyph, his con artist who is always trying to bring to justice back on the world where he was training as a Padawan, but eventually has to keep up with in order to help clear his name. I thought it was good fun, and those 9 volumes basically had a nice complete story. That's why I was so concerned when Dark Horse put out this new miniseries, and because after that, where do you go? I mean, there's really nothing that needed additional explanation with with this series. I mean, like Star Wars Legacy, that it basically explicitly ended. Volume 10 of that series ended basically saying, yeah, we're just going to be with like the need for like that final volume. But Knights of the Republic just kind of like like this volume 10 like seems really super. It's like they're doing this at all. It seems really superfluous, and unfortunately, it's like this volume never really like overcomes that feeling. It's like it's not a bad read, but it's like if you've already got all 9 volumes, you really don't need to add this to your collection. I mean, basically, it's subtitled War, and basically involves like it focuses on Zane again as he is drafted into the Mandalorian War that was talked about in the prequel to talked about it's like in the series. It's like he winds up initially finds up serving under this horrible Republic leader named Dallin Morvis, who's just kind of like the worst kind of leader you can imagine, who's always always about focused on like glory for himself, doesn't care about the lives of innocents, and he's just like all around dick. But he's also working with this Jedi named Dorjander Case, who eventually reveals his true colors as a Jedi Knight working for the Mandalorians, because he realizes that the fact that the Jedi are getting involved in this war is an unfair advantage to the Republic. Like the Force demands balance, and so now he's gone over to serve for the he and some other of his knights have gone over to serve with the Mandalorians. Thing is, though, like he's also got his own agenda to pursue, and Zane winds up being embroiled in that as well. And it's like Zane. It's like, and as far as writing the character Zane, Jackson Miller hasn't lost a step. Zane is still kind of like the same lovable loser that he was in the main series, and he's also become more comfortable with himself. He realizes that I've got absolutely terrible luck, but he also realizes that like because I know I have terrible luck, I can actually plan for it, which leads to like crazy stunts like the Jedi brain fever bit that he pulls in order to fool the Mandalorians later on. It's a nice little bit right there, and overall it's not like I said, it's not bad. It's not going to taint your memories of Knights of the Old Republic if you've got good memories at all. But it's like it still feels like thoroughly like essential. I mean, like Dark Horse just like threw this out there. It's like hey, are there still fans of KOTOR that we can like make some money off of? I mean, obviously the answer is yes, but for everyone else who hasn't bought it, it's like you don't need to, but it's not gonna. But it's not gonna like harm you one way or the other. Now, speaking of series that did demand continuation, Dark Times also which I also did a podcast of last year. I do love the Star Wars podcast. It's just like it's kind of sickening, really. Still, like this is the series about the State of the Republic right after the like it's become an empire. Like Darth Vader's still making a name for himself out there. The Emperor's still like firming his control over the over the Old Republic, and and there's still some Jedi out there who still trying to scramble away from from the Empire's wrath. One of those is Dash and we last saw him in Blue Harvest, where he was playing two sides of gang war, two gangs against each other in order to save this one. this one poor town on a distant planet. Now that volume ended on a thoroughly unfinished note, as if writer Mick Harrison just ran out of pages and just said, "Okay, that's it. I'm calling it a day." And but so it's good that we've got this next volume to continue things on. What changes though is that this is actually written by Dark Horse co-founder and what's his official title? Vice President of Publishing, Randy Stradley. Now Stradley he's not familiar to working in comics writing. He's the guy who did the original Aliens versus Predator series way back in the day, and he also co-wrote the Crimson Empire series with Dark Horse's other founder, Mike Richardson, who's also its president. To his credit, he wasn't as involved with the recent dire third installment of Crimson Empire, and if nothing else, while his work here is competent enough, it's at least competent enough to show that if he had been handling Crimson Empire 3, it may have been turned out to be just a little less dire. So the series doesn't pick directly up from the previous volume, but it does at least give you enough of an idea what happened afterwards to fill in the blanks. Let's see, Das is still on the run for the Empire, and just anyone else who might be after the price on his head. He's also hooked up with Ember, the madam of the port, who was also manipulating the conflict for her own benefit, and he's also working to fix H2, the thoroughly nasty droid who used to work for the alien who they were going after in the first. It's like in the first volume for kidnapping one of his friend Bommel Greenbark's daughter. Now Greenbark and the rest of the crew on Umeli are still out, and they've actually decided to go and track down Das, because they realize that he's still, even after how things ended in volume 1, he's still one of the he's still part of the crew, and we need, and it's having a Jedi on our side might actually be helpful. The problem is that after Das runs into some imperial conflict, to an imperial escort on this one desert, above this guy's on this one desert planet, he winds up crash landing there, and so he, Ember, and H2, who is now super happy and friendly thanks to Das's unwitting reprogramming of him. They're out there trying to survive in this desert planet. Well, they've got the crew from the Umeli trying to rescue them. They've also got an assassin who's also out for the bounty on Das's head, and Darth Vader himself, who's just out there to kill all surviving Jedi, and Das's name is just come up on his list after all this time. Now, the series is a decent slice of adventure. It's there's some nice back and forth between Das and Ember on the on the planet. There's some good action between the crew and Meli's solo exploits. So I will admit the most interesting thread about this particular volume is just the fact that it kind of shows that that Das he was basically regarded as kind of an average Jedi by his masters. Just the fact that he didn't have a particularly strong connection to the Force, but he's a good enough hard worker. He's a good enough hard worker, but he's just going to be an average person, average Jedi. And back in the day when the Jedi Order was flourishing under the Republic, he's the fact that he is alive and breathing kind of puts him head and shoulders above all the other Jedi out there right now. So even though he's got this this weak connection to the Force, he's still trying his best. He still doesn't let that get in the way of him trying to do what's right or uphold values of the Force or just general heroism in general. But still, the main appeal for Dark Times has always been the art of Doug Wheatley, who's always done some great detailed like art work that just like really captures the feel of the film series. Now, and that's also led to some really wicked deadline it's like deadline crashing that almost rivals like say the likes of Brian Hitch when it comes to his Marvel work. But here even though this series was apparently like also ran into some of those same deadline issues, he's adapting a simpler style that it's not quite as detailed, but it's still quite appealing, and it still captures the feel of the series, the feel of Star Wars quite well. It's like so. I mean, so as far as like art goes, it's like I said, it's on the low end, but still like even though when he's just like scaling things back, Wheatley's work here is still quite nice. So basically, if you've been following the series, then yeah, it's like go ahead and pick it up. I mean, I can't say it's like it makes me makes me like want to go out and recommend this to everyone, but it's like but it's considering that this is that has lost its main writer, it actually holds up pretty well. So if you were concerned about that too, then don't be. Stradley does a decent job, and it does end with the feeling that there's going to be like more to it, and actually there is, because Dark Horse is the latest solicitations indicate that there will be a new volume, this time from artist Gabriel Hernandez Walta, and as well as Stradley. So I'm looking forward to that when it's collected at probably around this time next year. We'll see. Anyway, gonna wrap things up with the volumes that the volume I was most looking forward to, and that was Agent of the Empire. This is mainly because it was written by John Ostrander, who's written some of my favorite Star Wars comics ever since I started reading them again. His work with Quinlan Vos in the Clone Wars has been nothing short of fantastic, and he also did a great job with Trapped in the Future saga of Legacy. Real quick though, with the now I shall go into that later on. But when it was announced that he was going to be doing basically a series that to introduce to the James Bond of the Empire, it's like I thought this was okay. This is something I'm going to look for. This is what I want to read. Then the reviews for the first issue came in, and they were like rapturous from just most of the comic book review outlets I read. So I'm really looking forward to this. Reading it, it's like I don't think it was like really like thoroughly awesome, like great, like one of the best Star Wars books I've read ever. But it was still fun because I mean James Bond of the Empire. It's like that's still like a concept that has legs to it, and Ostrander does a decent job of getting most out of what he can here. Now the Bond in question is named Jahan Cross. He's basically working for Imperial Intelligence, and as they said on the cover of the issues, were the stormtroopers of the Empire's hammer. Cross is their scalpel. So when the Empire needs a job that requires some finesse and a delicate hand, he's the person you call. In this case, this finesse basically has him following up on some leads from an imperial commander who was selling droid secrets to the to a droid manufacturing outfit headed by Rossum Droid Works, selling droid secrets to Rossum Droid Works, which is headed by Iako Stark. Those of you who have read Ostrander's The Stark High Place War, well, this volume does draw on a lot of that here, but it's like it's all done as background material. All we need to know about it is here. If you've read The Stark Hyperspace War, that's just a bonus. It's like it's not necessary to enjoy what's done here. But as you find out that Stark died a couple of years ago in an accident, and now things are being run by his son Yaklin. So now Cross has to go over to the Droidworks home planet and sort things out to find out just what were these black market droid parts doing here. What he eventually finds is nothing short of a plot to usurp command of the Republic, usurp command of the Empire through their droids. And even though we all know the Empire is bad to the bone and deserves to be destroyed, it's like not only is this the worst threat, But Cross is also like positioned it like as a kind of as a decent man. He's upstanding, believe like he's not out to kill the people who he doesn't need to, and he also thoroughly believes in the concept of the Empire, the fact that like without them, like there's only chaos, and he also completely believes the fact that the Jedi were behind the we're behind the chaos in at the end of episode 3. So he's obviously got some learning to do right there. But still, Ostrander does do a good job of like getting like adapting the basic Bond tropes into in the Star Wars universe. We get like a nice gadget. Like I'm seeing where he gets his gadgets in his droid Inga. He's got his like the girl he meets and romances in Ellie Stark. And also, for good measure, we also get Han Solo and Chewbacca also have a nice supporting role here. So it's fun. So it's fun seeing them, and it turns out that Solo knows Stark from Solo knows Cross from their Imperial days. But it's like Ostrander managed to work them well into the story together. Overall, it's like it was a nice fun read. It doesn't like really get. Even though it's like there is some of the like moral ambiguity that Ostrander always brings to his work. It's not quite as pronounced as it was in his Clone Wars work or Legacy, which I feel which is a little disappointing. But it's like I'm interested in seeing where he goes, since it's like obviously like Cross is going to find out that the Empire isn't all about order, and then maybe like there's really bad stuff underneath. So it's a good start, and if you like reading Star Wars comics, then I do recommend you check this out. Anyway, but still, this also raises the question like, how much longer are we going to have these kinds of Star Wars books? Because after the Disney Lucasfilm deal, it's like I can only feel like Star Wars comics days at Dark Horse are effectively numbered, because to be perfectly honest, like Disney has their own comics publishing outfit in Marvel, and after they actually did have some deals to publish some comics like Incredibles comics, and Toy Story comics through Boom that were eventually canceled once Disney bought. It's like once Disney bought Marvel and they started publishing it through them. So I really don't see any reason that once like the contracts expire or Disney is able to cancel them, that these that Marvel won't get a license to publish Star Wars comics again, like they did way back in the day. It's like when back in the day, episode 4 back in '77. So, but I mean, Dark Horse has done. I think it's done right by the series over the years. And to be honest, like you can see that once Marvel gets the license, they're actually going to throw their best writer at it. Imagine Bendis and Believe probably start getting a crack at things with their own miniseries or the start of a new ongoing series. But one only needs to look at the at their treatment of Halo or the Dark Tower series, because while those started off with great fanfare, they've since kind of got deteriorated into back burner concerns. I mean, even though Marvel will basically have the license to publish Star Wars comics, it's I honestly can't believe that that at some point we're just gonna start getting business as usual, and then they're just gonna start churning them out just because we've got the license. So people are still buying them. So why not just keep doing it? I mean, maybe the Marvel brand will attract a few more people than Dark Horse was bringing to them, but still, Dark Horse is I honestly don't feel that there's really any need to change things. And to be honest, it would be disappointing if they decided to take Ostrander off writing Star Wars comics, because he's really probably one of the main reasons I've kept buying them all these years. And plus, they've also got a new ongoing series from Brian Wood, which I still find bizarre that someone like him would be doing this. But I'll be I'll be buying the trades when they come out because hey, I'll buy anything that Wood's name is attached to. So, it's like I'm kind of. So yeah, it's like I'm kind of. It's kind of like these kind of like represent the beginning of the end. I kind of feel these represent the beginning of the end for like Star Wars' tenure at Dark Horse, and it's like they also show that hey, it's like it's not perfect, but still it's like I don't know, like am I left feeling that Marvel's involvement could really make things a lot better? Nah, not really, but we'll see how things go in a couple of years. John, any thoughts?
Can they sell them back? No, I'm just kidding. No, I think that only time will tell. However, it's one of those things where all the work's already been done. I don't know. There's not much really left for them to do. I guess they will eventually take it over. So.
Yeah.
And will it be a good synergy? Yeah. Time will tell, I guess. We'll see.
You can only hope, but like I said, I'm sure when Marvel does start publishing Star Wars comics again, there'll be a big fuss. Then eventually start just dripping back down to the level that they were when Dark Horse was publishing them.
Yeah.
So they'll get short-term gains. That's no question, but in the long term, yeah, I'm not convinced.
Yeah, all right. Like I said, you got it. All right, and with that, that'll end our podcast for the night. John Murphy, and that's Jason Glick. We'll talk to you later.
All right, later, everyone.
All right, bye.